All right, welcome back to talking about Bird Arm Man, episode 5, entitled Truth. I'm Paul, with me is Hank.
Raptor and Cold. Hi, I'm Hank.
Raptor and Cold, yeah. Okay, we're finally caught up. This is the episode, as of this recording, that came out like a day ago, 2 days ago. So, we're completely caught up now. Okay, so the last we saw from this show was a cool image from taken from Low of John Walker after he murdered somebody with Captain America's shield with blood dripping off of it and him just like being PTSD stunned essentially. Mm-hmm. And we kind of pick up right from there. They start talking with him and saying like, listen, it was a mistake. It's all good. Like, shit happens. There's obviously problems going on here. Blah, blah, blah. Like, just give us the shield. Let's go back. Like, let's go back home and deal with this sort of thing. And it starts a fight. Like, at first it's fine until they're like, okay, give up the shield or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I see what it is now. You just want the captain. Like, he's such a piece of shit. Fuck, I hate that guy. So they demand the shield from him, and it starts a fight, which is kind of the fight we've been waiting for forever. So I'm so glad we finally get it.
Yeah.
Where he's fighting with Falcon and Bucky, and I really don't respect the Falcon at all. Like, at all. I think that's a stupid character, and I kind of just don't like anything about him. And he continues to kind of be just a shitty piece of shit here. He gets his wings ripped off, and it's funny to me. I thought that part was hilarious.
Yeah, I appreciate that it's hard to figure out a good way for him to be in a fight. It doesn't look great. It doesn't really work.
I don't like him. Never liked him. Don't like him now. He gets his wings ripped off, which is hilarious.
More than...
What's that?
I like that actor.
Yeah, he's fine. I have no problem with him.
He's in Pain and Gain, so I have...
He's also been... He's been in a lot of, like, really shitty straight-to-DVD or Netflix movies. Like, he just kind of does anything, and there's, like, a hustle to that I respect. But, yeah, I don't mind him, really.
But yeah.
I just hate that character.
That's fair.
And, like, I hate him as a quote-unquote superhero. Oh, you can fly. Big fucking deal. Eat shit. He gets his wings ripped off, and it is a pretty good moment. Like, that is a comic book moment right there of, like, Captain America pinning down the Falcon and ripping his wings off. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's a good moment. There's an even better moment where Bucky breaks his fucking arm and takes the shield off of it. Yeah. And that was really good. I felt really good about that. It seems a little bit weird to me how hard that fight was for them. But then I remember that, like, before he was a superhuman with the serum, he was also, like, peak physical condition. So, sure, it's whatever. It's fine. We're going to talk about something in a little bit. But, like, I've always found it a little weird how this show showed in episode 2 how apparently easy it is to throw Captain America's shield like Captain America. It's apparently the easiest thing in the world, though. And, like, that makes every time he's thrown it in the movies so much less impressive to me. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more specifically. Because, like, every time I saw Walker throw it, I was just like, well, it's a little weird that he can basically do what a superhuman could do with it, but he is, like, the peak of humanity, so sure. And it carries here every time I saw it. It's weird seeing Bucky get beat up with Captain America's shield by somebody who's not Steve Rogers.
So there's a comic book about, like, Steve Rogers' first... it's like a more modern story of, like, Captain America's first time fighting, and it's like he throws his shield. He's like, what am I doing? Shields are not for throwing.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I guess the reason this came up is that he throws a shield a couple times in this fight, and it's just like, just take it then.
I know.
Like, just leave with it.
Like,
and to be fair, Falcon tries to fly away with it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, yeah, so that was the one part that made sense to me. It's like, yeah, you have one thing over anybody. You can just go up forever, and they can't. So you should do that. And he finally starts doing it, and it gets his rings ripped off, which is hilarious to me. Yeah. So that happens. Bucky breaks his fucking arm, Captain America's arm, and that's great.
Yeah.
And they kind of all just like go their separate ways, which is really weird. Like, it kind of ends with them all on the ground, broken and bloodied, and basically crying, except Bucky walks away because he took the shield. Okay. They split. They all kind of do their own thing. The big one of Walker is getting an other than honorable. It's not a dishonorable.
Yeah.
It is an other than honorable discharge, and is stripped of the title Captain America. And he's all like whiny and crybaby about it. Bucky goes and finds Zemo at the Sokovia like memorial, and they have a quick discussion. He pulls a gun on him, pretends to shoot, but then shows that there's no bullets in it because he gave that life up. And then the Dora Milaje come and just walk off with him, essentially.
I don't know why he shot him with an empty gun.
That whole part's really stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know why. But it's stupid to write off Zemo with him just like, yeah, I guess I'm done. I stepped on that super soldier serum, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Plot function done.
But he still exists. He's not dead.
Yeah, totally.
He's somewhere in Wakanda, probably forever. Well, they actually say he'll live out his days or whatever there. Okay, we have to talk. Oh, is this before or after? No, this is before. Okay. Walker gets his other than honorable discharge, and while he's being all mopey about it, afterwards, he's just kind of like in the courthouse, the court-martial house or whatever, on the bench, talking with his old partner or something, or like somebody close to him. And Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld decides to walk by and give a card with nothing on it and say, hey, these guys need to protect their money, but you don't need to be Captain America. That shield isn't even theirs. This is who I am. And it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, which is a agent of complete fucking chaos in the comic books and a weird character that I don't understand exists in this, and why Elaine Bennis is playing her. I guess like Julia the Louis-Dreyfus or whatever, to like actually say her name. But she's always Elaine to me, to the point where I can't watch her in anything because she's that character forever.
I kind of have that problem with Veep.
Oh yeah, I won't even watch Veep because she's Elaine. Like,
she's a very different character in that show, but yeah.
Is she? Okay, fair enough.
I mean, she's still like she's a different kind of terrible person, I'll say, in that show.
Sure. So, true to her style, she's also playing a terrible person in this.
I thought more of Veep because of like the political thing was more where my brain went, even though like obviously she's like,
I see.
But it was weird that like
she's in this.
It's not, she just has, I expect it to be funnier, kind of. I expect like the whole scene to be more comedic. I don't know.
Yeah, this whole scene was very weird. So she comes up and she's like, this is my name. Again, this is my name. I don't like to repeat myself. You can call me Tess, but in your head, don't call me Tess. Actually, like, she's trying to be like a fast-talking, funny person, but not like funny person as in like she's a comedian, but funny as in this is a weird person and she kind of has like a quirkiness to her. Yeah. And it doesn't work for me, and I kind of fucking hate her. And the internet loves her, so it's been a real point of contention for me these last couple of days.
Fair. Look, also, this is a character that I mean, honestly, the most memorable thing to me was like Spider-Man referring to as Norman Osborn's best friend once. because she ran hammer for him.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing about this character is that she's done a bunch of weird shit in the Marvel universes.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the fuck she's doing here.
Yeah,
like,
she was... she's most notable to me as, like, when Norman Osborn was running, not S.H.I.E.L.D., he was running Hammer. Like, Val was, like, basically, like, his number 2 or whatever. Like, she was running it for him. But, like, she's
also Hydra, though, right? Like, isn't she, like, the leader of Hydra?
No, she was just the leader of Hammer. She's not actually, like, after she runs Hammer, she then still works with the Avengers. Like, she's kind of neutral in that way.
Okay. Weird.
I could have sworn a weird character, and mostly was like a pet character for Brian Michael Bendis when he was writing the Avengers for over a decade.
Wasn't she like Nick Fury's lover?
Yeah, she's like as an older character, she was associated with Nick Fury stuff. But I haven't read that stuff, honestly. I mostly know her from the more modern Brian Michael Bendis Avengers stuff.
Okay.
Which is more like what this version of the character seems like to me, also.
Okay, yeah, no, I just looked it up. I was wrong. Not Hydra. She's with Leviathan, which is a terrorist Soviet group.
Well,
so she is not a good guy.
Leviathan is like... Yeah, it's like higher than Hydra. I think it's like all the organizations working together. Yeah.
Anyways, that's kind of why I don't understand who she is here, because I just kind of don't they haven't done anything. That's why I was thinking, like, is she just a power broker? Really? In this, maybe? Like, or maybe she works for him or them or something. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
It's weird that she exists in the MCU in general. It's weirder that it's Elaine. That's the kind of the thing I can't get past.
Look, I'm just waiting. Now I'm just waiting for Norman Osborn to take over all the U.S. government shit and run Hammer. Like, that's not what I'm waiting for.
So the reason it's actually Elaine is because of Veep then, right?
Yes,
because she showed that she can play a weird, fast-talking, like, shitty politician type person.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Eat shit, Hollywood. Fucking Christ. Anyways,
her Veep character.
She exists for a moment.
A moron.
Huh?
Though. I would say her Veep character is
really?
a moron. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, that's actually like funner to me.
Yeah, she's like a weird toddler character. She's just really childish.
She's definitely not childish in this.
Yeah,
she is definitely not oozing sexuality or anything like I felt that character maybe should. She is very businessy in this, and she gives that one lady a card that has nothing on it.
Yep,
because that's what they do.
That was dumb. That was
yeah. Okay. Anyways,
also we see John Walker's wife. He has a wife.
What's that?
I didn't remember he had a wife.
This episode gets weird now. Sam goes back to
you gotta bring that boat
Isaiah Bradley
all the way around. Come on.
Not yet.
Oh, you're right.
He goes to Isaiah Bradley.
Right. We have to close that.
And that conversation is extraordinarily sad. That's a really bad conversation.
Yep.
So we find out that he brings the shield there, and there's a conversation about, like, you think that they're never going to allow a black Captain America. So this is my takeaway. We'll get more into specifics. The takeaway is he says they're never going to allow a black Captain America, but more importantly, a real black man would never want to be Captain America or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, okay, that's pretty fucking deep. He went through some real shit, like being taken away from the woman he loves, them telling her he's dead, and then like when she dies, they kind of let him out, or he gets out finally after a nurse pretends that he died from the testing.
Like it's a better story than this show.
It's almost like Americans are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And always have been. Well, and especially in the comic universe. Like, the government in comics is really bad. Mm-hmm. And it's weird that only now are they starting to actually get to that. Like, really get to that in the MCU. Because a lot of shit has happened. Mm-hmm. But I guess at least they're getting to it, so that's cool.
It's one of the conflicts of like versions of the Avengers that are more associated with the government, like kind of don't work for me, because in the Marvel universe you also have the X-Men, in which X-Men comics the government is unabashedly super evil. It was honestly one of the reasons why I liked when Norman Osborn was running Hammer, because it made X-Men comics make more sense in like the greater Marvel universe. It's like, yes,
sure,
we need the government that would build Sentinels. Like, this is the government that, if the Avengers worked with the government, would be. This makes more, at least, internal consistency at minimum.
Sure. Yeah, because as it stands right now, the MCU, it's like the government actually loves superheroes.
Yeah.
And that's the stance. So it's nice that they're finally bringing in the people that is like, no, there's other superheroes and there's other people with powers.
Yeah.
You don't hear about them because they're not under the government. They wouldn't be held down by the government, and like they were erased because of it.
Yeah. And like getting to the government be evil, and not just because Hydra is completely infiltrated. Like all the previous stuff has been Hydra infiltration into SHIELD and stuff, and not like maybe this shit is just fucked.
Yeah. Like, let's test the black man because he saved his troop.
But I do think
he didn't follow orders.
Yeah, I do think all that stuff is intertwined. If like you were actually going to explain it, it would be intertwined in the Hydra running SHIELD the whole time stuff too. Because they kind of established that SHIELD from the beginning was being co-opted by Hydra too.
Yeah, hail Hydra. So yeah, of course, better character, better story stuff going on there.
Yep.
Again, a moment that's kind of not earned because they do nothing with Isaiah Bradley before, and they don't do anything with him after.
It's just there. It's thrown in.
It's just there. It's not an earned moment at all.
It's an added spice.
And I am sure that his grandson or whatever is going to be Patriot.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, because he actually said more than one word this time. He actually had some lines. Yeah. So that's definitely going to happen at some point, I'm sure.
Like, that's like, I'm glad they're seeding that. That's because again, I care about
this is a good way to seed it.
Yeah.
But I wish they did more with Isaiah Bradley. Is kind of
it's just like
full thing.
The show is, the writers aren't clever, so it's just there. It just sits there.
I guess the reason why this is frustrating is because the rest of the episode is him working on the boat with Bucky instead of visiting some of that cool stuff they could have been doing. Because, like, after that whole conversation, he leaves. He has the shield at home, and he's like, I'm gonna help the family out now. And Sarah's like, oh my God, I thought you were saving the world.
We gotta save the community center with the GoFundMe.
There's fucking, like, my family's part of the world, isn't they? Yeah. Or whatever. Like, fuck. All right.
Look, the system's broken. Man. The only way to solve problems is crowdfunding. That makes everything better.
And then there's kind of just, like, an actual half an hour of them fixing the boat. Like, actually. Yep. There's so much time of them, like, chatting. They're saying, like, some stuff about, like, what's going on in the world or whatever. But Bucky comes, hits on Sarah, and he's like, don't hit on my sister, but you can stay here. And they are literally working on the fucking boat for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, that's what goes on in this episode. Why?
I'm actually
You didn't give time to... You didn't give time to anything else.
It's true.
And you give time to this.
Yeah. Because this is easy.
Yeah, you're right. No, totally, you're right.
Again, like in the greater context of serialized storytelling, I kind of appreciate it. In this 6-episode miniseries, it's weird. That has way too much going on in it already.
Listen, when this is season 10 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, this is a great episode.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is why, I mean, I kind of knew we were going to get here because, like, look, the boat was going to be okay. That was the thing I was definitely certain of with the boat drama was the boat will be fine. They'll figure it out. There wasn't any tension in this story.
That's my
funny
big, like,
way which they record. Oh yeah, the system's broken. We just have to like crowdfund shit, and that makes everything great. The world's fine.
Gotta call in the favors.
Like, yeah. Oh God.
It actually reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where the leftporium is going under, and Homer starts making calls like, "Remember when I paid back that loan? Well, it's time for you to do something for me." It was kind of like that scene, almost exactly.
Yeah.
And it works, I guess. Like, so my big rant about it withstanding, I do find it funny that Bucky comes and he's just like, I talked to the Wakandans and this is like a gift or whatever, and he brings a briefcase, and then he decides to hit on his sister, which is like whatever, but then he decides to help with the boat, and the first thing he does is take the wrench from Sam and just like wrench something. And Sam's like, "Why didn't you use the arm, man?" And I was like thinking the exact same thing as he was doing it. I'm like, why doesn't he just grab it with his hand and just like turn it? He has a metal arm. He's like, honestly, I just forget I have it sometimes. It's like, that is a good bit. Like, I like that one.
It's like, I'm right-handed or whatever.
Yeah.
It's my other, not my dominant hand.
And there's some weird like montage of them doing certain... It's like the actual type of montage you would get from a comic book, which is one of the things I kind of do appreciate about it just existing.
Yeah.
Like, where the human guy with the wings that doesn't have any powers and is kind of shitty is trying to, like, take the siding off the boat by hand. And then the superhuman just grabs it and rips it and throws it away. Like, so I get it. It's just that you didn't spend any time with Isaiah Bradley. You didn't do anything with Zemo. You did barely anything with Adora Milaje.
I know.
You did almost nothing with Madripoor. Like, what the fuck, dude? Holy shit.
Yeah, they were like juggling so many balls, but really they're just like throwing balls up in the air and then watching them hit the ground. It's like,
this is legitimately the one moment they earned, though.
It's true. They set up the boat. They set the boat up. We came back around.
Up the boat, and they like checked in with Sarah enough where she was having trouble. Like, there's reasons why they would want to. Yeah. There's no reason why Bucky would want to, frankly. But like, he's there because he's trying to be a friend, and there's like a whole moment that they.
Yeah, he doesn't have friends. He has nothing better to do.
He kind of has nothing better to do. And there's like this weird moment where they have a discussion about like why he's still having problems as the Winter Soldier, as like why their memories are still haunting him, and how he's like just trying to like avenge his like things he's done and like his memories rather than amend them. And like there's like real good like they're finally becoming friends moments, and I feel that was earned finally.
Yeah, finally Bucky's talking to a counselor who knows what he's doing instead of that terrible therapist who was super aggro.
But like they tried to make them friends right from the beginning, kind of like not actually friends, but like this moment was finally earned.
Yeah.
And they tried to push that earlier, and it didn't work.
Yeah, they just like tried to hit like banter super hard earlier. Really, just like quipping back and forth.
Yeah,
which is like what these movies do. This was,
Bucky said.
Mm-hmm. Bucky's like not really a banterer, so it didn't quite feel right.
He's also like they kind of didn't. There's no reason why he's like, I never thought about how that shield would like affect you as a black man or something. It's like, where did that come from? Like, why did you have that revelation all of a sudden? Like, I know why it's there. It's because we need them to like make up and be best buddies now.
Yeah,
and like that was like kind of the thing that he was wrong about. But like nothing changed.
He was speaking for the writer of Endgame to the writer of this show.
Yeah, it's weird. That was a weird moment, but it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Like, it's true. They didn't have that character think about it. But
yeah,
he should have. So they kind of stuck. So just bluntly, again, straight line between 2 points.
Yeah. And then he leaves. He's just like, all right, see you later. Smell you later, nerd. And they're like, are saying like, we're not friends, we're coworkers. It's weird. There's a weird moment. Like, they're obviously friends and they're kind of bantering. Again, he doesn't do banter well though. Like, just straight up. I don't know if it's like him as an actor or that him acting as that character doesn't. Like, I don't know. But there's something, because I can't remember Anthony Mackie, I think, like that actor that plays Sam. Mm-hmm. He's like very good at like being kind of a personable. You could see him being a counselor. Like, the way he talks to people like feels fine. Mm-hmm. Bucky feels very awkward in every conversation he's ever in. Yes. Including like this whole conversation that they have feels a little weird and stinted. Yeah. And I don't know if that's an actor problem or like a character problem, but whatever. Either way, everything's like hunky-dory between them. And I guess he decides he's going to be Black Captain America now because he starts training real hard with that shield. Yeah. And like, he can throw it perfectly. And they were also throwing it back and forth while having a conversation. So that shield is very easy to throw, making Steve Rogers not that impressive of a human being. That's all I'm getting at.
Steve Rogers. Everybody really that great? Look, he's got America's
everybody
ass.
That touches that shield can throw it like he does. Yeah.
The important thing is he has America's ass.
Yeah. And then like,
I mean, look, the more important thing was when he threw Thor's hammer. That was the impressive thing Steve Rogers did.
Yeah. Also, something I don't like bullies and jumping on a grenade. He did impressive stuff before he was superhuman, which is kind of why he's the best Captain America. Like, that's the thing, right? Yes. Is that it wasn't the serum that made him Captain America. Like, literally, it was who he was as a person that did. Yes. And like, that's kind of what nobody in this show and universe seems to understand, especially in the government, is that they thought it was just because like he was willing to die for his like friends or whatever, and they saw him like do dumb shit to like sacrifice himself for the greater good. But like, I don't know. The government in this show is weird. They think Captain America should just be like, look, there's super one strong.
Evil senator and he does everything.
Yeah.
This is how government in comic book movies works.
It's unfortunately how government in real life works too, frankly, but we don't have to get into that. Okay. So he trains real hard with a shield, but then snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. The Flagsmashers are attacking a GRC conference in New York. And that's kind of like the last thing.
What are you talking about? Famous comic book character Batroc shows up, except he's not wearing the Batroc outfit, so
and he's like selling weapons. He's not even like part of it, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't care about movie Batroc because he's not. Comic book Batroc is awesome because he has a big mustache and he's super French and he wears that dumb outfit. Movie Batroc sucks. He's everything that's wrong with Marvel movies.
With Marvel movies, yeah, for sure. The big reveal, I guess, though, is that he's been hired by Sharon Carter. Yeah. That's kind of the thing, right? Likely making her
the power broker.
Like the power broker, yeah. And then it just kind of ends there. We don't really have like how that ended, because that's obviously going to be the full last episode, is how they wrap up that big event, the climax.
Yeah.
There is a credits scene after the main credits, before like the actual final credits. Mid credits is what they call it here. Yeah. So we'll go with that. There's a scene where they show John Walker building a Captain America shield from scrap metal and his war medals, which is like the coolest thing he's done, but also fuck that piece of shit. I don't want to see him ever again.
Yeah.
Even though we're going to, obviously. Yeah. So that's episode 5. I think we kind of talked about the big things to talk about here. He was as they came up. The big ones, of course, Contessa. Who fucking knows what they're doing with her, or why, or like what's going on.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I did not expect that character to show
up. The boat is safe. So, and Sarah decided to not sell it in the end, and that made him real happy.
The person who wanted to buy it decided not to buy it more than she decided not to sell it.
Same thing. They throw the shield around like a football while having a frank discussion about their PTSD problems. And Batroc is hired by Sharon Carter. Those are the big things.
Zemo goes to jail. And honestly,
Zemo, yeah.
The way they wrap up the Zemo stuff is infuriating. I said, this show would live and die for me by how they handle Zemo, and that's a big drop in the ball.
I have to go now. The Wakandans need me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This whole show makes me realize how much I really, really, really just like Chris Evans as Captain America and Steve Rogers. I really like that character.
He was really good.
He's really good. His version of Captain America is spot on for a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And like to the point where even like the writers of the show, going meta, the writers of the show, the actors, but like even the characters inside, nobody knows what to do without him there.
Yeah.
It feels all like they're trying to do a lot to like fill the hole that character and that guy had made by leaving.
Yeah, no. Definitely like all the stuff they talk about how great he was, like, yes.
He was,
right.
For sure.
They accomplished that.
I really want to revisit his movies because I just want to see him again. This show has made me just want to watch Captain America, one half of Winter Soldier, and maybe like parts of Civil War on YouTube, because Civil War is kind of garbage. But
Civil War is,
I don't know, man.
Both has good parts and is kind of a mess.
So, okay, this is another thing I've been thinking of while watching this. Every time I said a Marvel movie was a mess, I didn't understand what a mess was until this show came around.
True.
So, at least those were all self-contained 2-hour things that had like stuff that kind of made sense in them happening at that time. Even if they didn't feel like they had to close anything off because they knew there would be another movie they could do something with. And this feels messy in a way those movies never did, even though they have 3 times the amount of time to do stuff with it.
Look, Bucky and Falcon fixing the boat, not that dissimilar from Avengers 2, where they go sit on the farm for a while.
Avengers 2 also might actually be worse than this series, though.
I mean, yeah, Avengers 2 is very bad.
Because Avengers 2 not only had like a writing problem and pacing problem, it had the problem of it should have been cool, and it ruined a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Falcon was never going to be cool, so the fact that they humanize him a little bit is kind of neat.
Yeah. Sure.
Bucky still kind of sucks, but he's kind of supposed to.
Whatever. They made his arm fall off. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that the best part Bucky plays is when he's like humiliated.
He's just extra sad now. He's
like
very,
the shitty
look,
bully in your school
sad.
getting pants in the hallway and all the girls laugh at him.
He needs to be even sadder.
Yeah. Emo Bucky. Okay, one more episode. So we're almost at the finish mark. Do you have any predictions? I predict this will start like an event that will be a movie thing. The last episode. Maybe the death of Carly as like a symbol or something for people to uprise, or she's working with somebody, or the power broker in general. There's going to be like a thing that happens that's just like, oh, this is what's going to be like the main cause, or like cited as a reason for this movie to exist.
I think the show is going to give John Walker a heroic moment. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to do that.
Like,
he might die too, but I think they're going to give him a heroic moment.
Oh, do you not think he's actually going to stay on as like U.S. agent?
He might.
He
totally might. But I could also see him dying heroically or whatever. I could see it going. That one I could see going either way, but I think he'll have a heroic moment at least.
Okay, here's a question. Does Nick Fury make a cameo appearance?
I don't think so.
They've been teasing him for a while in different things.
Yeah, but
him,
he's
like,
in
existing.
space. He's on a Skrull ship. True. Like, there's a Nick Fury who's a Skrull walking around, but...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Do you think the Skrull show up here? In the final episode? Because they kind of did, right? In WandaVision.
Yeah, they did at the end of WandaVision.
They kind of reopened that a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe? Again, Val is Secret Invasion stuff, so that's actually part seeding for that, probably, is what that really is.
Sure. What if they tied into a movie? What movie would it be?
What do you mean?
If they were tying something into, like, what would they be able to tie into? Maybe like a Black Panther 2, or like they kind of already showed. I guess they kind of already did tie into like a Black Panther 2 if they do something with Zemo in that at all.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like what else they could, because I don't think they're really using anybody in like the Avengers really anymore, right? Like the Avenger they're using is Black Widow, and like spoilers, she's fucking dead. So
well, I think like that's the big thing they have to do, right? Is reestablish some kind of Avengers.
Yeah.
Which
so I guess the tie-in
Sam
would be
becoming Captain America.
Patriot.
Really? Well, that's Young Avengers. I mean, like actual Avengers.
Do you think they're actually going to bring back the actual Avengers though? I think they might just be done with it, with the Avengers proper anyway.
I think
like those people might just be cameos in other movies and other situations now.
That's true. But I feel
they
like
were kind of only held together by
I feel
Iron
like they're
Man,
going to slowly be seeding a next generation of Avengers that will be in Secret Invasion as like a big event.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah. Like an Avengers team that will probably only last for one movie or whatever, because like it'll get replaced by like the Dark Avengers or whatever.
Yeah, because you still have like War Machine. You still have people that could band together. Mm-hmm. I think you still have Hawkeye, right? Or did he die? I don't remember what they did with.
No. Well, Hawkeye's getting his own show, so.
Is he?
There's Hawkeye, and then there's other Hawkeye, who's on the Young Avengers, and she's like a super good character, so I'm excited for that show.
But Jeremy Renner is getting a show, like that character.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. All right. All right. I mean, sure. Why not, I guess, right? Who fucking cares? Anyways,
based on a really great comic.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not a big fan of Jeremy Renner.
That's fair.
So there's something about him that's just like, you just seem like a scumbag. It feels bad kind of saying that because I don't know him at all. There's just something about him that seems off that doesn't jive with me.
The main thing I have against him as Hawkeye is he doesn't hold... It's pointed out to me he doesn't hold a bow correctly. He's really shitty about holding a bow.
Oh, is he? I don't think I've ever noticed.
His form is terrible.
Interesting.
It's nonsense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's kind of funny. All right. Well, any final thoughts on this?
They did not do Zemo justice in the end.
No. Hashtag justice for Zemo. I agree. Okay. One more episode. Thank you for listening. We'll see you then.
Peace.